Welcome back to Arcade. This is part 5 of our series of creating a Sokoban or push box game. In the last part, we added bounds checking so that our player can't walk past the walls we have in place in our level. And we fixed a box pushing bug, so you can only push the box if you're directly aligned with it, not next to it. So now in this video, we are going to add a check for when you move a box over the properly colored dot on the floor. So let's get started. Go back to our code here and you see, if you remember from a previous part, we put all our boxes into this boxes list. But really, this is only the blue boxes. That's the index 8 tile from the tile sheet here, which is this 8. We also need to account for 7, 9, and well, I guess 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So those guys. So there's basically 5 colors here. Gray's not really a color, but we'll just say 5 colors. And so let's see how we should do it. We will need to know what boxes are what color. So first, let's say we change our boxes to be blue boxes. So let's say we're going to change this. Let's actually see if we can rename symbol blue boxes. Save. So rename symbol lets VS Code basically change all occurrences of that symbol boxes into a new one, blue boxes. So that seems to have worked. I can still push the box. So of course that means now we can also have red boxes, green boxes, brown boxes, or orange boxes, and gray boxes. For now, let's just keep it on blue. Let's do it one color at a time. And we know, what else do we know? That the dot on the floor here is index, what? Index 51. And that is index 51. That's blue boxes. So when the box moves, so our box move is in the tween move method, and we'll collapse this. So when the box moves, this is right here, there will be a on finish, or on complete rather. So there's an on complete callback that we can use. And when it's on complete, we can check that the box is over a dot on the floor. So let's see. We have this get box has wall. Let's just call this has target at, calling these colors targets. Gonna give it a number, or X and Y, and then let's just say tile index. So same thing here. If we don't have a layer, because we're going to check this on the layer, we're going to return false that there is no target there if there's no layer. Then we're going to do this.layer.get tile at world X like we did right here above to check for the wall. And we're going to put X, Y. And we're going to get a tile out of here. And if for some reason there is no tile, we also return false that there is no target of that tile index, and then we're going to return tile.index equals the tile index we are passing in. So now we know the tile index is 51 rather. We should definitely make consts out of these. Just see if it works first. So cover target. All right, let's see. Covered target. This dot has target at the same X and Y that we're going to, and the index is 51. 1. And then let's just now log out covered target. Covered target. So this should be true if our blue box is over the blue target. Let me just check, since we are only moving boxes. Get box at blue box. So we'll have to actually know that the box we're getting is blue. We'll have to probably adjust this to return more than just the box. We'll leave that for later. Let's just test this first. So let's make sure it should say false. Okay. And then this should say false, right? So in Firefox here, it shows the duplicate log here count. And this should say true. And it did not. Okay. Let's see what went wrong. Tile index, this should be 52. Let's add this debugger. Let's go to our game. And then let's see, we want has target at. Let's refresh this. Okay, so we step over tile. So we have a tile. And the tile index, 0. Tile index is 0. Why? X has target at. Tile index is, let's move myself 51, but that tile's index is 0. Okay. Let's see. What did we do wrong? Has target at XY, get box at. Oh, right. Yes. So we want the position where the box is now, since it's been moved, not where the box was. Right. So this X and Y is checking where the box. So let's just move this, reset this back. Okay. So player's moving left. So we're at this state. We go player move left. What we're putting in X and Y is actually this position because we're checking that there's a box there, and there is. And then after the box moves, and it's moving, in this case left, but since we're going to use a box XY, it shouldn't really matter. The new position of the box is where the target needs to be checked at. So if I am correct, this should say true. And it does. Okay. But this should say false. And it does. And this should also say false, right? This should say false, and this should say true. Okay. So there's that. So now if it has the target at, so what we should do is obviously increment some amount of counts here, right? All we care about is that all the targets have been covered, which means, so up here, let's actually make a, so we're going to make a dictionary that's going to hold this. But first, we're going to do it by color. So we're actually going to go into source here, make a new folder. I'm going to call it consts. And we are going to make a color, ts. And so now we know we have blue, and blue is 8. And then we know we have orange. This is either brown or orange. We'll call it orange. Orange, red, blue, green, gray. So orange, red, blue, green, gray. Orange, red, blue. Let's just do it in the order we saw them. So if that's 7, that's 6, that's 9, and that is 10. Okay, export orange, red, blue, green, gray. Now, given we're using TypeScript, we could have used enums here, but for those using modern JavaScript following along, you can just use const like this. This will work in both cases. Color, okay. So let's come back here. So we're going to make a dictionary or an object to hold our count to colors or colors to count. So let's see. Targets covered by color, and it's going to be of type. Key is an int, and it's going to, well, not int, number, and the count is going to be a number, and that. Okay. So there we go. Now, we will want to increment count for color. At some point, we may want to move some of this code into its own class. For now, we'll leave it here. Increment. We may want to decrement at some point too. Let's call increment color. Increment count by color. Count for color. Okay, so color, it's going to be a number, and then let's call this change. Let's this increment, let's call it change. So we call it change, we can pass in a negative or positive number here. Change count for color, so here we go. First of all, let's see, we want to make sure if this dot color targets covered by color, change target covered count for color. It's very long. Change target covered count for color, but it is descriptive. Okay, so if, so I think we can actually do if color in, and so if not color in, so this checks that the key color is in targets covered by color, which means it's going to check whatever we pass in as color. So let's say 8 is in there. So if it's not in there, we need to initialize it to 0. Great. And then what we're going to do is add the change. So if the change is negative, it'll be a minus. If it's positive, everything will just work. And so that should be correct. So targets covered by color. So here we're going to do, let's collapse this. So if cover target, so this is back after the box has been moved, and we've determined that it is covering a target of 51, which is the blue target color. Okay, so this dot change target covered count for color. So we're going to, the color we're changing is blue. Yes, so maybe our color should actually be different since the colors of the tile and the color of the box is not the same. So these are box colors, right? We'll call this box orange, box red, box blue, box green, and box gray. So copy and paste this box. So here we go. And so now we also have what is target orange, right? Which is something. Target orange. So we know this is 51. So we know blue is 51. Let's go about this calculator. It's going to be 51 minus 13 because we know the whole row is 13. So 51 minus 13 is 38. Well, that's not orange. 38 is going to be red. Const target red is 38. And we know const target blue is 51, right? 51. Okay, so 38, again, minus 13 should be 25 for red, orange. 25, just make sure it's orange, orange. Color, okay, so that's blue. Now target green, so that's 51 plus 13, so if we're going down, that is 64, and then target gray is 64 plus 13, which is a 77. Great, now we're going to export all of that as well, so target orange, target red, target blue, target green, target gray. Okay. Okay, so we are, let's see, where did we leave off here? We want to be target colors, right? So it's targets covered by color, so we need target import as colors from, let's just use this colors. That just says everything that's exported, imported as color. So we can do colors dot box blue, colors dot target blue. And so when we check here, we know this is blue. Just for now, we know this is 51. At some point, we may have to check for different. We have to check for not each one, but depending what the box color is. So for example, let's change this target blue. We know we're using the target blue. In the same vein, that's the color, and then the change is going to be 1. We're just adding 1. Okay, and so when that is correct, so let's console.dir this dot color target colors covered by targets covered by color. Okay, I'm not sure I like these long names. So this should tell us 51 has 1. It doesn't uncover it. So we do have to add that. But let's just make sure that when we move it the first time over nothing, it should say we should have nothing. Yep, empty object. Okay. So now if it was covered, it is now no longer covered. We need to account for that. Let's see, how should we do that? So let's see, have wall, don't move, if box. So if there is a box. So let's see, so if we just share this and refactor shortly. So now if it has covered target and you're going to move it, so we know at this point you're going to move this box. We are going to, instead of +1, so we're going to change this and we're going to use colors dot target blue, and it's going to be -1. If you remember, we changed this from increment to change so that we can pass in a negative or positive to adjust up and down. Okay, so let's test this. Now that's 1, 51 is 1, and 51 is 0. All right, so that's what we expected. 51 is 1, 51 is 0. Okay, so that's the basics of marking a target covered by the box. So there's still things to do. We need to add different colored boxes here and refactor this code a bit to make it a little cleaner. So come back for that in the next part.